Hi, I'm John and I love tropical gardening and growing some of my own food at home. So here behind me is one of my veggie gardens, which is an absolute mess, but it was thriving in spring and now we are in late March, so it is truly into autumn. The weather's finally cooled down a little bit, so it is the perfect time to get back to growing some beautiful lettuces and some great herbs. And I still have quite a few things in here which I can salvage, but as you can see, most of this is just either weeds or just dead, plants from before summer. But yeah, let's dive straight into it. First things first, I've got to clean this up. So things are looking so much better now. I've just taken out a huge amount of weeds. There's actually quite a few things here, like my lovely shallots, and the kale is a bit old, but there's chillies and got lots of jalapeños on this little bush here. And there's quite a few things of basil still, some Thai basil and Italian basil growing. But I have quite a few herbs and some lettuces and stuff here, some seeds to plant, because it is just the perfect time now that the weather's cooled down a little bit. So I love to grow lettuce. I love eating lettuce, but it can be quite cumbersome getting it from the shops, and it goes off quickly and it's not that nice. Whereas last year in spring, so when the weather isn't quite as hot and when it's not too cold in winter, lettuces just grow so well. So I have, one of my favorites to spice up a salad is some rocket or arugula if you're from America. And this is obviously really tasty, it has a delicious peppery taste and grows very well. With that, I also like to grow some spinach, or I think this is baby spinach here. Again, grows well. You just walk out with some scissors, just chop some and put it in my salad or dinner, and it's delicious. I also have a couple of mixed lettuces. So I've just got a packet of seeds here. It has, it just says it's a blend of lettuces, but I really like cos lettuce, and you can just cut the outside leaves of the lettuce, which is what I usually do, and you can just get basically unlimited lettuce for about 2 months. It's pretty cool. I also have some bok choy, which is great. It's another green, it's great in Asian dishes. I've got some herbs, I've got some coriander, cilantro for people in America. I have some celery seeds. Now I love growing celery. It's great in, pasta dishes and for juicing. And last but not least, I believe, is my radishes. And the radishes are quite nice to grow and just put in salads too for a bit of a kick. And they grow really quickly. They say 4 to 6 weeks. And I grew them last year, and they grew very quickly, very easily, didn't need to do much, and yeah, they look cool as well. They're red. All right, so it is now time to prepare the soil. So the soil is actually pretty good here. What I did last year is I grew each different thing in a different pot, and it worked so well. It was so easy knowing this is for this type of lettuce, this is for the chili, this is for this herb, and I kind of want to go down the same route. And I have a lot of pots, I think more pots than I'll need. And it'll work well with some of these things too, like with my basil. I've got some basil growing that actually grew itself from seed from last season, but just to pop some more seeds in, so when that starts dying, I've got some, extra basil to follow through. And thankfully the soil does look good. So I'm just gonna use my trusted little kind of claw tool. What I'm gonna do is kind of break it off a bit. So it's really nice and dark looking. It's great, looks nice and fertile, but just to kind of break it up and allow the seeds to have a nice, fresh, aerated soil to grow into. So let's get onto it. So I'm going to start over here with my celery, and I don't even have to move the tag from last time, which is easy. And the seeds are very small. They're I don't know if you can see on camera, but they're quite small, just little seeds, and I'm just going to sprinkle a few of these around. And look, the best way to do this, to be completely honest, is actually to grow them in a separate little pot and then transplant them. But for ease, I just find I pop them in. That's sometimes all I can be bothered to do. But I'm going to just pop them down for a minute. I will top these with a little bit of some really fine mulch when I'm done. But I'm just going to press all this down so it is level. There we go. And it is as easy as that. Next, I'm going to move over to this large pot for my lettuces. And I have my 2 packets here, just they're mixed lettuces. And same as last time, this is my lettuce pot, so it's already labeled with lettuce. Same thing again, I'm just going to sprinkle some of these seeds over. Maybe I do half on this side. Now the other thing is, if you're worried about planting too many seeds, what you can do is if they grow up and the whole lot of these actually end up growing and turning into little salad plants, you can actually just pick out the weak ones or pick them out, put them in another pot in the ground, and you'll have even more. So don't worry about having or planting too many seeds. You can thin them out once they start to grow. Now moving along, I have my spinach, and the spinach is actually in a seed tape. So with these, potentially even easy, you kind of just rip them up and they're really good for planting in a line, but I just kind of unravel some, rip it with my fingers, pop it down in the soil a little bit. Now, they will on the packets tell you how far to space them apart, and I like to push these either into the pot or just in the soil a little bit so that they stay in and the animals don't come and dig them up or, blow away, get lost. But once they have some good watering in, they'll, stay. Looking good. All right, I'll save the rest of this for next season. Next we have rocket, so same thing, I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these in the pot like that. Just give it a light mix with my fingers. Again, don't forget, I'll be covering all of this with a little bit of fine broken down sugarcane mulch at the end. So moving on again, we have coriander over here, and these seeds, they're what you get at the supermarket to actually eat in curries and break down. They're quite funny, so they're bigger. I'm again going to sprinkle a couple over this bit of soil. Just have to reach across and just muddle them, shuffle them down into the soil a little bit like that. There we go. And I'm thinking I might just sneak a few radish seeds again in the seed tape in this little pot here. So over here I have a little bit of Thai basil, which I said earlier, snuck over from this Thai basil pot in this pot here. And I think it's going to be the perfect pot to plant some bok choy in. So I'm going to plant the seeds. I will remove this. I'll just probably eat it at a later date. But for now, I'm going to follow the same thing. I'm going to sprinkle a few of these seeds in, just like so. My trusty hand again, just to shuffle the seeds in a little bit. There we go. All right, almost done. So with my 2 basil pots behind me, I'm literally going to just kind of sprinkle both the Thai and the Italian basil into the pot, cover it with a little bit of mulch. I don't want to go playing around with it too much because there are lots of new little basil plants already growing. These are just some extra to put in there. And now that I have cleared things and I am going to be fertilizing, like with liquid fertilizer, watering frequently, they will grow a lot more and bush up. So very excited. And for those that don't, I'm sure most people know what Thai basil is. I know it's very common, at least here in Australia, to grow normal basil, Italian basil, but Thai basil is delicious in like stir fries and Thai dishes. It has a delicious aniseed, like a licorice kind of flavor. And it's almost like, I wouldn't say spicy, but it's got a delicious taste to it. Very, very different from normal basil. So I love just to put it in some of my, Thai cooking or stir fries. But yeah, let's pop our last seeds in. So there we go, those are all our seeds in now that I'm putting in today. And if you haven't seen my videos before, this is just my more kind of herb, salady, lettucey garden. I do have more veggies on the other end of my house, which I will be tackling that next. I'm still growing a few things there, but I want to start getting my broccoli and, some more nice veggies for winter and even for next spring. It's good to get some things in nice and early. So I will do a video of that, of course. But for here, we've still got a couple more steps. I've popped all the seeds in. I just want to cover it with some really fine sugarcane mulch. I don't want anything too thick or too heavy to kind of hinder those seeds growing, but I just want a little bit of a cover and something just to help keep in a little bit of moisture as well, because I don't want the seeds drying out. So I think one other thing I just want to point out is that you can see that growing seeds is really fast and really easy. The longest time for me was just ripping out these weeds and the leftovers from last year. But honestly, so quick chucking them in. Seeds generally will grow much better. And the plants themselves will grow much better than seedlings, but seedlings are fun because there's an instant kind of, vegetable or herb there. They're also much more fiddly and much harder to start, getting established and obviously take much longer to plant. But all of these are up to you, personal preference. Obviously seeds, I was going to say too, are cheaper, and you can keep your seeds from the plants from last year and plant them again for this year. So keep the seeds when these go to seed, and you'll have free endless veggies that you can grow, and herbs. And here we go, nicely covered in a thin layer of thin sugarcane mulch. We are done. So I'm just going to give them a really light watering in just to make them nice and moist, and then probably once every 1 to 2 days, just give them a bit of a watering in. And then after about 1 to 2 weeks, that is when you want to start using some liquid fertilizer. I use some sea salt sometimes, or it just depends, just to get them going. And just one tip as well I didn't mention before is if you are actually starting out without your soil, and if the soil isn't very good, it is good to break it up and add some potting mix, or just start again and add new high quality potting mix from the store. The soil needs to be of a good high quality to grow good vegetables and herbs. If you have poor quality, you're going to get poor results, and it's basically as simple as that. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe, because I will be giving updates to see how this goes over the coming weeks and months. And of course, I'll be working on my veggie garden soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.